one's won back-to-back WTA finals. 30-15. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. We've got WTA Finals. We're still watching the Paris final as well. Felix trying to stay in this final and stay in front of the second set, but he overhits a forehand. It's 30-all. And then we've got Gauff taking on Pegula, which feels like a very close match on paper. And it should be a very close match because they've played a lot in the past. Serena probably. Yeah, Serena must be the last player to do it. 2012 to 2014. There you go. Serena it is. Feels like that's like the common thing now, isn't it? It's like best since Serena. First player since Serena, right? First player since Serena to do this. First player since Serena to do that. Like it's always since Serena because Serena was the last to do it. So if you do it, it means it's pretty damn good then. It's pretty hard to do because if Serena's doing it, if something Serena... Nobody's done since Serena. I mean, 40-30. Felix to stay in front. $40-30. And then an ace. All right. Felix stays in front. 5-4. 5-4. 1 second, chap. All right. 5-4. Felix stays in front, which is exactly what he needs to do. Okay. Do you think Sinner will dominate the AO like Federer did with Wimbledon and Nadal did with these Roland Garros? So I'm going to say one thing, and I feel like this doesn't get spoken about enough. The pressure of the three-peat. Because we've seen it done so often where players have won like 5 in a row, 6 in a row, right? But I feel this year we've watched a lot of players that are going for the three in a row fail, right? Sabalenka in Australia, Alcaraz at Wimbledon, right? As 2 big examples. So even if Sinner can win next year and win 3 in a row, and get over that, because that's not easy, because there's so much pressure on that, because we make it a thing, right? We're like, 3-peat, 3 in a row. We make it a big deal. Alcaraz and Indian Wells as well, yeah, going for the, I don't think Sinner's won 3 tournaments in a row before. So, I feel like we underestimate the pressure of that. We don't give, whenever players are going for that, I mean, Pegula at Canada, right? She had her worst loss in Canada. And she was dominating that tournament for 2 years straight. And she lost like to the lowest ranked player, Simona Halep. So I feel like we got to acknowledge that next year's Australian Open is going to be tough for Sinner, not just because Alcaraz is getting better, but because he's gone for 3 in a row, and that's a big deal. Now, if he does win next year 3 in a row, then you can go, okay, maybe the Australian Open can be, he can be the most dominant player there since Djokovic, right? Because Djokovic has won the most. He can make it his own, right? But we've got to remember that he is trying to win 3 in a row, and that is tough. I don't remember the last player to three-peat a tournament since Djokovic, probably, right? Like, who's won 3 in a row recently at anything on the men's side? 15-0. Even on the women's side, I think Swiatek winning 4 French Opens and 3 Dohas, I think, and that's about it, right? Sabalenka winning 3 Wuhans over 6 years. kind of counts. Has Sinner ever gone back-to-back besides Australia? I'm just trying to think. Has he gone back-to-back? Because that's another pressure, being the defending champion. He went back-to-back in Australia this year, but did he go back-to-back anywhere else? Davis Cup? Has he gone back-to-back anywhere else in his career? He was banned? Yeah, but I'm talking about... Well, he only won Miami. He was banned, and Miami was the only thing he couldn't defend. But he didn't defend Cincy. He didn't defend the US Open. He might defend the ATP Finals, though. Vienna he defended. Didn't he defend that, right? He won Vienna last year, right? He didn't defend Heller this year. He lost. Anyway, Sinner with a 4-1 winner, 40-15. Rotterdam? I don't know. Did he defend Rotterdam? But he's definitely not won 3 in a row. That's for sure. All right. As we got a backhand Sinner into the forehand of Felix. Forehand from Sinner to the backhand of Felix. Sinner backhand on the stretch. And then Sinner hits it out, 40-30. So he went back-to-back in Australia. He went back-to-back Davis Cup. He almost went back-to-back in Beijing, but he lost to Alcaraz last year. He didn't win Vienna last year. He didn't go back-to-back in Canada. He almost went back-to-back in Miami, but he lost. Sofia Open, he did go back-to-back. He defended the title in 2020 and 2021. That's about it, I think. So Sofia Open, Australian Open, Davis Cup. But he's never gone three for three. We get the deuce. FAA trying to steal the set. So yeah, I think we just got to start like mentioning that. Maybe it doesn't make a difference, but I think it does make a difference. I think going for 3 in a row is a big. There's a lot of pressure on that, right? I know we're used to seeing players do it easily, but I think we need to acknowledge that somebody who's going for a three in a row at the same event, we've got to bring that up as something that might be a pressure, So Sinner might win, the Australian Open. If he wins next year, then I think we can put that to bed. But as FA hits it out and it's advantage Sinner. But I think we should acknowledge that next year that Sinner's going in to win 3 in a row. We shouldn't just expect him to win, and that's not going to be in his head a little bit. All right. Advantage Sinner to level the second. As the return goes off the tape and in the net by Felix, and it's 5-all. Sinner holds. 5-5. 5-5. Who else next year is going in to try and win 3 in a row somewhere? Is there anyone going into next year on the men's side that's trying to win 3 in a row? So Sinner at the Australian Open. Alcaraz at the French, right? He's trying to win 3 in a row there. Maybe Sinner winning 3 ATP Finals in a row if he wins this year. Anything else on the smallest? 3 Queen's Club for Alcaraz in a row, right? Queen's Club for Alcaraz. 3 in a row, possibly. Fritz at Eastbourne. Yeah, I don't know if Fritz has already won 3 in Eastbourne. He's definitely won 3, but I don't know if it's in a row. Yeah, so yes, Fritz at Eastbourne I think is back to back. Oh, yeah, Alcaraz lost to Queen's Club last year. I thought he lost the year before. My bad. Yeah, so Alcaraz he lost last year to Draper. Sorry, I thought it was the year before. Yeah, so not Alcaraz at the Queen's Club. 30 love. Gauff serving first, by the way. Pegula, love 15. 6 King Slam. Okay. Sinner in Vienna. I don't think Sinner won Vienna last year. Did he? Sinner didn't play Vienna last year. Did he? Didn't Alcaraz play? Who won Vienna last year? Draper. Draper won Vienna last year. 40 love. Felix. Yeah. So there's not many players that will be trying to do that. It's not easy to do. As the backhand return from Sinner goes to the forehand of Felix. Felix puts it away. All right. 6-5 Felix in the second. Also, Gauff is down love 40 first game. This is not a good start by Coco. 6-5 Felix. Sinner's going to serve to stay to take us to a tiebreak. All right, Gauff for the fault second serve. Gauff serves and to the backhand of Pegula, forehand from Gauff. As Pegula backhand to the backhand of Gauff to the forehand of Pegula. Gauff with the slice. Pegula backhand down the line. Gauff gets it back into the forehand of Pegula. Gauff forehand again. Into the forehand of Pegula is Gauff. Again with the forehand goes in the net. There's the break. 1 love. Pegula breaks. 1 love. All right. Here we go. Sinner's going to serve to take us to a tiebreak in the second set. By the way, we're almost at 500 likes. Also, don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't already, we're almost at 273K. All right. Sinner serving to take us to a second set tiebreak. As he serves into the backhand of Felix. Backhand of Sinner. Into the backhand of Felix. The Sinner with the forehand. Into the backhand of Felix. Again, the forehand of Sinner. Felix slice. Into the forehand of Sinner. Sinner puts it away. 15 love. 15 love. $15 love. Sinner serves again. As the return goes in. Drop shot Sinner. Felix gets it. Sinner with a volley. Lob goes over Felix, who hits a tweener, but it's in the net. And it's 30 love. Good attempt by FAA, but just not quite there. Remember, if Felix doesn't win this match, he will have to play next week, and he will have to make the semi-finals to guarantee his spot. Now, if Musetti loses next week in the first match, then he won't have to do anything. But if Musetti keeps winning next week in Greece, Felix will have to make the semi-finals of Metz. If he makes the semi-finals next week, he will qualify for Turin. So it comes down to the last week of the year if FAA doesn't come back here and win. Love 30, by the way. Coco to get the break back. Love 40. And it's 40 love for Sinner. Then an ace. All right, tiebreak. Hello? Why isn't it working? I said tiebreak. All right, 6-0. Can Felix take us to a third? Pegula backhand goes wide. Why is this not working? This stupid machine. See, chat, this is why I need the off season so I can fix it. Because things that on the stream are just not running smoothly as I need it to. Anyways, first point goes to Felix. One zero. One zero. One zero. All right, Sinner serves again. Serving to the forehand to Felix. Return the backhand to Sinner. Felix backhand again. The backhand to Sinner. To the backhand to Felix. Sinner wins a point. Felix in the net. 1-0. By the way, the winner of the Gauff-Pegula match will take Sabalenka on in the second match. And the loser will take on Palini in a must-win match in a couple of days. 1-1. Back to Sinner. As by the way, Pegula, love 40. No one can hold serve. All right, 2-1 Sinner. All right, first serve is a fault from Felix. Second serve. Serving to the back into Sinner. Forehand to Felix. Into the forehand to Sinner, who shanks it long. 2-0. 2-all. Also, Gauff in the net. All right. 3 breaks in a row to start the match. Not ideal, but at least it's close. 2-2. Sorry, 2-1 in the first set for the ladies. 2-0 in the tiebreak. As the return goes in the forehand to Felix. Felix sprays it wide. 3-2 Sinner. 3-2. Bad miss by Felix. 3-2. 15 unforced errors from Felix. Is that on the forehand side alone? Ugh. That is not great. All right, 3-2 Sinner. Serve at the back of Felix. Return goes to forehand to Sinner. Sinner puts it away. 4-2. They change ends. 4-2. So close. Come on, Jannik. Yeah, he is close. Only 3 points away. 4-2 Sinner. They change ends. 4-2. All right, I think they are going for Felix because they want an extra set. There's a little bit more noise, it sounds like, from for Felix, or at least they're chanting his name. All right. Forehander from Sinner. In the back of Felix. Sinner with the forehand of the front of Felix. Felix is a wide. 5-2 Sinner. 5-2. For Jannik Sinner. There's only 1 minute break though, but Felix has lots of work to do. 5-2. Felix serves. Out wide, and Sinner returned the net. 5-3 Sinner. Five, 3. Another serve for Felix. Out wide of the corner. Sinner for Felix down the line. Sinner with the backhand pass. Ooh, it's in the net. That would have been a crazy way to bring up championship point. Felix a little lucky. All right, 5-4 Sinner. He's serving for the match. 5-4. All right, Sinner to serve. Down the tee, the corner. Felix return goes short. Sinner smokes it and puts it away. Championship points for Jannik Sinner to take his first Paris Masters. And I'm sure it won't be the last. And also, I think he's complete. He's got like 4 out of 9 now, I think, right? I think he's won 4. He's won Miami. He's won Shanghai. He's won Cincy. He's won 5 out of 9. He's more than halfway there to get that golden Masters that has only been achieved by one man. Twice. All right. 6-4. He serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the front of Felix. Return goes to the front of Sinner. Sinner again to the front of Felix. Sinner goes down the line. Now Felix the backhand cross court. Sinner's got it. As FAA backhand again. Sinner goes cross court again. The backhand of Felix. Sinner in control. Goes down the line. That's a winner. There it is. Championship for Sinner. And he raises both fists to the air. Jannik Sinner wins Paris. And Felix will have to play next week to qualify for Turin. But he's put himself in a good position. It's Musetti who has to chase him. But Sinner wins. And he wins Paris. Only having to play really one tough set. And that was that last set. It's the only time this week that he's been challenged. And, I mean, if you call that a challenge, I mean, the tiebreak was pretty straightforward. Okay. GG's. Sinner is the champion. In just under 2 hours. All right. By the way, Pegula, she's trying to hold. Nobody has held serve yet in this WTA Finals match. There it is. Sinner gets the win. And he goes to Turin. He goes to Turin as the world number 1, I think. But he doesn't play Turin as the world number 1. I don't know how it works. Chad, it's so weird. We're just going to wait. Got to wait to confirm that tomorrow. We'll wait until the rankings come out and then we'll talk about it tomorrow. But I think that's the case. He'll be number 1 next week, but he won't be number 1 once we get to Turin because he'll lose points that will mean that he will drop back. So yeah. But anyway, so the world number 1 ranking really comes down to Turin. it'll be really interesting because both Sinner and Alcaraz, obviously, Sinner's got more work to do to keep, just to end the year at number one. But it'll come down to who does better in Turin. And Sinner's going to have to hope Alcaraz doesn't do well. I think it's Alcaraz. It's Alcaraz's to lose, I think, the world number one ranking going into Turin. Pegula hits it out, we'll get the deuce. Yeah, I'm not sure. We talked about this earlier. Apparently, the ATP Finals seedings are based on the race of the finals, not the ATP rankings. So that's why Alcaraz will be number one, I think, in Turin, or at least number one seeded. But again, we'll wait until tomorrow until we get official word on the rankings. But at this stage, it seems like Sinner. Well, at this stage, Sinner is number one. The live rankings show that he's number one. We'll see whether or not the ATP deduct the points from last year's Turin tomorrow, or if they do it next week. That's the only, because that'll make a difference, right? So we'll see. But as of right now, Sinner's number one. He is number one in the world. Again. First there's a fault by Pegula, second serve. It didn't drop a set. And he played some decent players. It wasn't like he played nobody. He played 3 top 10 players as well, Sinner. It was a great run. Shelton, Zverev, and FAA. I mean, that's a good run. They're tough players. And Pegula hits it out, and we're back on serve 2-0. It's not like he got an easy... It might be an easy road hindsight, but he still had to play Zverev. He still had to play Shelton. Cerundolo in the third round was not someone to overlook. So yeah, and he played all the players except for maybe Felix in the final. We probably thought it was going to be Alcaraz, right? Or maybe Fritz. You could put him there, but on his side of the draw, he played all the top players. He played Bergs, he played Cerundolo, he played Shelton, he played Zverev. All those players were the hardest players on his, the harder players, the higher ranked players he could have played. So he definitely didn't get an easy draw. He just made it look really easy. Anyways, Gauff double faults. Love 15. Back to where he belongs. There you go. Again, we'll confirm it tomorrow, but as of right now, he's number one.
You have Coco winning today.
Thank you, Ray, for the 2. Yes.
When are Sam Predictim's reactions coming out?
Yeah, that'll be like after the season's over when I have time. But thank you for the donations. Yeah, I picked Coco in 3. But yeah, I'll be doing reactions to my predictions after the season ends. And making new ones. All right. We're going to merge the streams in a second, but let's see if Coco can hold. She hits it in the net, 15:30. If you do want to keep watching this WTA Finals match, here you go. Jump on over. I thought Sinner would be having some flashbacks in Paris from that final against Carlos. What final? That was on clay and outside. Different venue. 15:40. Coco in the net. The draw for Turin comes out next week. As we just serve into the backhand of Pegula. Forehand from Gauff to the forehand of Pegula. As Gauff backhand to the backhand of Pegula. As Gauff with the forehand again. The backhand of Pegula. Into the forehand of Gauff. As Pegula backhand cross court. Gauff with the drop shot. Pegula gets it with the drop shot back. Gauff puts up a lob. Pegula with a volley down the line. Winner. Nice. Great volley by Pegula. She breaks again. 5 breaks to start. 3-2. All right. So jump on over if you want to keep watching. But Sinner wins Paris without dropping a set. And he is now back on top of the rankings, at least live rankings. Officially, it'll be tomorrow. We'll wait and see if the ATP play any tricks and deduct points before whatever. But as of now, he is back on top. So celebrate, Sinner fans. You deserve it. He's had a very strange season, but when he's played, he's won. So even though he's, like I said, he had 3 months off and he still got back to the top of the rankings. It's crazy. But he wins, and Felix will have to play next week to try and qualify for Turin. But he's in the best spot because he's ahead of Musetti going into next week. So he'll have to play next week to qualify for Turin. And we might get a rematch between these guys in Turin, because if Felix does qualify, 2 versus 8 or 1 versus 8, whatever it turns out to be, could be a match that we see. So they could play next week as well, a rematch, or in 2 weeks' time. But jump on over. Pegula Gauff still just warming up. All right. Pegula to serve. No one's held. We have started this match off with 5 breaks. So let's see if Pegula can hold. As Gauff hits out in the return, it's 15 love. Felix gave everything and it wasn't enough. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It was only 1 break of serve though, wasn't it? Like in the entire match. That's not bad. Yeah, there was only 1 break of serve and that was the first set. So Felix served as well as he could. Like he couldn't do much more, really. Maybe hope Sinner throws a couple of errors his way at the wrong times, but not much. There's not much. Felix did as much as he could. He served as well as he could, and he played as well as he could. All right, 40 love Pegula. There's a double fault, 40-15. As we get a fault from Pegula again. Second serve. Second serve. And the return goes out by Coco. All right, 4-2. Pegula holds. First hold of the match. Which sounds ridiculous, but it's true. All right, 4-2. Now let's see if Coco can hold. As the return goes into the forehand of Gauff. Forehand now from Pegula. Gauff with a half volley drop shot. Pegula gets it, but Gauff puts away the volley. Just 15 love. As we go to serve again. It's a fault from Gauff. Second serve. Double fault Coco, 15-0. $15-all. As the return goes out by Pegula, 30-15. Sinner has won 26 straight matches on indoor courts. That's crazy. All right, backhand slice from Pegula in the net. 40-15. There's a bit of fault from Gauff. Second serve. There's a bit of return from Pegula. The front of Gauff. Back into Pegula. Down the line to the slice of Gauff. Pegula with a volley. Gauff with a pass. Pegula with a volley again. Gauff with a pass. Pegula volleys, gets it again. Gauff with another pass. Pegula somehow gets it back, but it's long. Good hustle. 4-3. Gauff holds. Pegula has the break, though. All right. 4-3. Four, three. All right. Pegula leads. Bubba can enter the top 10 by the end of the year. Isn't he in the top 10 already? Oh, no, not yet. Yeah, Bublik, if he wins Mets, gets him close to top 10. Did Ruud play the ATP Finals last year? I can't remember. Ruud's number 11, okay. Oh, Bublik's number 11? Why isn't Boca's ranking so low? What do you mean? She's number 18 in the world. What do you mean low? She's number 18. That's a career high. Now, Bublik can't qualify. He can be an alternate though, which you get paid for that. So he could still be an alternate, but he can't qualify. And Boko is my favorite player. Nice. Oh, Ruud made the semis last year. Okay, so that's interesting. So Ruud will lose all those points, which means Bublik could overtake him. Please stop spamming. I just answered your question about Boko. All right, 15 love. Serve is a fault from Pegula. Second serve. As the return goes in the back into Pegula. Forehand from Gauff into the forehand of Pegula. As Gauff forehand again. Goes long. It's 30 love. 30 love. Love. As a default, second serve. Serve. Into the back end of Gauff to the forehand of Pegula. As Gauff forehand again, the forehand of Pegula. And Pegula hits it out. 30-15. And Boko sits at live rankings 28 in the world. You're wrong. You're not reading it properly. It's 18, not 28. As that goes the net from Coco, and it's 40-15. As Pegula serves again. Into the forehand of Gauff. Gauff hits it out. All right, Pegula holds. So we had 3 holds of serve in the last 3 games. Pretty easy as well. Hasn't been too difficult for the players to hold. All right. 5-3. Gauff serving to stay in the set. Pegula and Gauff playing like they don't want to play each other. True. Yeah. They're too nice. They're friends, and they're just like, I don't want to play against you. The winner of this, though, will play against Sabalenka. So the winner of this puts themselves in a good spot because you would think that, Pegula definitely would like her chance against Paolini, but Gauff and Paolini have had battles, so this might feel like it might actually be a must-win for Coco. Because if she doesn't win this match, she's going to have to beat Sabalenka and Paolini, both players who she has lost to. So this could be a really bad loss for Coco. But again, she hasn't got a good record against Pegula either. Everyone in this draw for Gauff has beaten her. So this may not be easy. It's a very tough group for Gauff to get out of. Is it a backhand rally? And Pegula hits it long, 15-all. 15-all. All right, serve again. There's a bit of fault from Gauff, second serve. As the return goes out by Coco, and it's 15-30. Chance for Pegula to break to win the set. Felix won 10 times as many games as Zverev. Good math. Gauff's already hit 17 errors. Holy shit. All right, return goes in from Pegula to the back of the Gauff. Pegula puts up a lob, but it's wide. 30-all. Serve again. Here's a fault from Coco, second serve. Second serve. The backhand of Pegula, backhand from Gauff in the net. Pegula's got set point, 30-40. And Gauff's just not moving her feet that much. All right, 30-40. And chat, we say it every time. Pegula is the most underrated player in the top 10. She made the final here a couple years ago, but we didn't even mention it in the preview. Gauff, it's a winner deuce. Again, chat. And look, I'm not saying that it's just on you. It's on me too. I forget this too. But we never bring up Pegula when we're talking about who should win this tournament. We're talking about, maybe Keys could do it if she's playing well. Maybe it could be this. Why couldn't Pegula win this tournament? Why are we not mentioning Pegula? Because we never do, and it's just a problem. We need to stop doing this. Chat, my New Year's resolution, 2026, mention Pegula as a favorite for tournaments, because this is getting ridiculous. The fact that we do not mention her name enough, we always go, Sabalenka, Raducanu, Anisimova, Swiatek, Coco. We literally did. The only person we didn't mention was Pegula. We even said Paolini if things go right. A lot has to go right, but we were even saying about Paolini. But nobody said Pegula might win this. And that's on us. We got to be better. We got to start putting Pegula's name in when we're talking about who the hell is going to win tournaments. We got to say Pegula could win this tournament. Deuce. Every time, chat. We do it every time. We know until we realize, she's winning. Wait, why did we say Pegula? She could make the final. She did 2 years ago. All right, advantage Pegula. Advantage Pegula to take the first set. There's a bit of fault. Second serve. Nope, no good serve. All right, Pegula takes the first set. It wasn't pretty, but Pegula takes it. 6-3. Man, oh man. All right. First set goes to Pegula. All right. Coco just was not serving well in that first set. 5 double faults, 6 winners, 19 errors from Coco. 5 winners, 9 errors from Pegula. So she wasn't playing the best ever either, but she was serving a hell of a lot better. And that's why she didn't get broken nearly as much. But, man, yeah, Coco was, that was a struggle. Oh, man. And now Pegula is going to serve first in the second. All right. Was that from Coco? Who? 6 double fault? 5 double faults? Yeah. All right. The first set is in the bag. All right. Pegula to serve first. Remember, the winner of this will take on Sabalenka in a couple of days. The loser will take on Paolini. And then tomorrow, we've got Swiatek taking on Raducanu, and we've got Anisimova taking on Keys. No word yet whether or not Andreeva is coming in, but I don't think so. I mean, we won't know until tomorrow. So, at this stage, it's Keys versus Anisimova until we know otherwise. But I don't think. I mean, look, Keys probably going to leave it to the last minute if she was going to pull the pin, but I think she'll probably play Keys tomorrow. She'll play again. She only looked like she couldn't serve. Everything else looked like it was okay, just rusty because she hadn't played so much. But like she seemed to be able to hit forehands and backhands without discomfort. Just couldn't serve. As Pegula in the net, love 15. Yeah, Keys has got a shoulder issue. That's kept her out of the game from the last few months, and you can tell that by the abbreviated serve, the way she was serving. That there was just issues, you know. She just didn't couldn't get the serve working, you know. Return goes to forehand of Pegula. Forehand from Gauff is too good. 30 love. 30 love. All right, serve. Into the forehand of Coco. Coco hits it. Oh, sorry, love 30. My bad, not 30 love. I can't read. You know that. 15-30. I'm looking at it from like top to bottom. I forgot that Pegula's not. I forgot that Gauff's not serving. It's 3:30 in the morning. Yeah, I saw Hereditary. I didn't think it was that creepy. I watched it tonight. I don't think it wasn't as crazy as I expected. Maybe I just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't seem as nuts as I thought. The only thing that was insane was the car scene was crazy, and obviously like the psychological stuff at the end where it was like all like, you know, and like when the son goes to the school and like bashes his head, like that was like whoa, like that was intense. But other than that, I'm like, wasn't as spooky and creepy as some of the other movies. Backhand goes into the volley of Pegula. Forehand from Gauff is long and it's 30-40. Overhyped? Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. But I don't think it's definitely not something, it's not like, didn't make me feel the same way as like Insidious or, you know, at the end of, you know, it didn't really make me feel too crazy. Weapons still the best? Yeah, Weapons is insane. I got to watch Sinners as well. Anyways, 30-40. But it was all right. I mean, yeah, the scene with the car when they're driving home, where they're driving to the hospital, that's crazy. All right, forehand goes into the forehand of Pegula slice from Gauff. Into the forehand of Pegula. Is Gauff with the forehand. Again to the forehand of Pegula. Who hits it in the net. There's the break. 1-love. Agree with you on Hereditary. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say it's like one of the best horror movies of all time. And I'm like, there was definitely moments, but I don't know. I feel like there was, I feel like Sinister, I got so much, that was way freakier. But maybe you had to see it at the cinema. I don't know. It was okay. I wouldn't say it was bad at all. It was good. It was good. All right. Coco with the break. 1-love. All right. 1-love. Gauff. She double faults. That's 15-love. I love 15. Love 15. So the backhand now from Pegula. Into the forehand of Gauff. Pegula backhand. Again to the forehand of Gauff. So Pegula goes with the backhand again. Into the forehand of Gauff. To the forehand of Pegula. Gauff again with the forehand. Into the forehand of Pegula is Gauff. Hits a winner down the line. 15-0. I swear you can't be top 3 and can't make a serve. Okay. Cool. All right, good serve from Coco. 30-15. Serve to the forehand of Pegula to the backhand of Gauff. Gauff, it's a winner. It's 40-15. Yeah, but she is. Yeah. Yeah. There's no rule in the tennis rule book that says if you serve X amount of double faults, you are ineligible to be top 10. There's no rules. Like you can hit 400 double faults in a season and be third in the world. There's no rules against that. You can be top 3. But I think the scary part is what if she hits 200 double faults next year instead of 400? Will she be number 1? I mean, that's what the upside for Coco. I mean, if you're going to look at it from like a negative, like, she can't serve. But what happens if she eliminates those double faults, even halves them, right? Because she's never going to hit 0. But hitting half that many, what, is she number 1 then? Like, she could definitely be number 1 if that's the case. Because that's definitely the thing that we all look at as the problem. And her forehand sometimes breaks down, but definitely the serve is the thing that hurts her the most. But if she eliminates, she halves those double faults, the upside is huge. If she's number 3 with that many double faults, I mean, that's crazy. All right, 2-love Gauff in the second. Pegula won the first 6-3. As the return goes in the forehand of Pegula. Forehand from Gauff. Into the slice of Pegula. Gauff backhand. As Pegula puts up a lob. Gauff with a smash. Nope. She lets it bounce. Goes in with a forehand. Down the line of the backhand of Pegula. Gauff backhand again. Into the forehand of Pegula. Pegula in there. Love 15. I'll tell you this, Chad. I'll tell you a story. Back in 2022, there was a lady by the name of Aryana Sabalenka. You might have heard of her. And she hit more double faults than anybody on tour. She was the double fault queen. Self-titled. She named herself that. I didn't say it. She did. And she had won 0 Grand Slams, right? She'd made semifinals. She'd lost in semifinals because of double faults, right? It was the biggest thing that was holding her back. At the end of 2022, something changed. She goes to Australia 2023 with no slams. Had been number 2 in the world multiple times, by the way, at this point as well. She wasn't like number 10 in the world and could never do... No, she was like number 2. She was almost the best player on the planet with all those double faults. Goes to the Australian Open 23, wins that, Serve is perfect. Hasn't looked back. Now, Coco has 2 slams already. Yet, the double faults are an issue. So, if she is able to win slams when Sabalenka, who had the same problem or a problem like this and couldn't win, how good, I mean, that shows how good Gauff is when the serve is working. Whereas, Sabalenka, not that long ago, could not serve to save herself and could not serve to win a slam. Coco's already won 2. That pressure's off. There's no expectation there because she already got 2. She just needs to figure out the serve more to be consistent, more than to, she's already, being number 1 eventually, yeah, but winning slams, had she not won a slam right now, I can understand the criticism and pressure, right? Everyone would be like, oh my gosh, she'll never win a slam without this serve. But she's already got 2, so just wait until that serve gets a bit better. Then she's going to be like, who knows what then she might be unstoppable. But it's not stopping her from winning slams, and that's at least a positive in a world full of negatives. All right, 30-0. As the return goes net by Coco, it's 40-30. All right. 40-30. As the return goes in the back into Pegula, forehand from Gauff. Into the net. Pegula holds 2-1. All right. We should compare the double faults to aces or unplayable serves. I agree. Just looking at double faults, you're right. There's a big difference between somebody who double faults and doesn't serve aces and somebody who double faults but also can offset that with aces, right? Now, Gauff is in the negatives, right? Most players are on the WTA. They serve more double faults than aces. That's just normal. Even Swiatek has hit almost, 1 double fault to 1 ace this year, right? Coco's hit 178 aces and 400 double faults to this point, right? So she is in the negative. And now she's obviously hit the most double faults this year, 100 more than second place. But that's, again, if she can kind of up the aces and limit the double faults, doesn't have to be, 1 for 1, then... But I'm thinking this year, she won the French Open this year, right? She was very good on clay this year. She hasn't been bad this year. So it's like, well, we're talking about she needs to do this, needs to do that. But it's like, to what? To then become the number 1 or to become multiple champion next year, two slams next year instead? Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's only stopping her from winning some matches. Like, it's affecting her today. It's affected her in the past against players. But she still has had a good season. She's figured out how to beat Swiatek. She's won a slam. She's won a 1,000 events. She's won, she's beaten Sabalenka, right? It's not like it stopped her from doing like this. She's not titleless this year, right? It's just not, it just stops her in certain matches, right? It affects her, or it affects certain matches. But it hasn't, I don't think you can say Gauff's had a bad year. Like, Gauff's year's been very good. It's been exceptional. All right, Coco hits a backhand wide. Love 15. She serves a fault, second serve. Swiatek versus Rebecca in a blockbuster match. Ooh, you have no idea. That match is so important. It's so much fun. Mandy, thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. Double fault Gauff, right on time. Love 30. Yeah. Rebecca and Swiatek tomorrow. Huge match. Huge match. As Coco serves an ace. There you go. If you double fault and then you serve an ace, it makes you feel much better. I wouldn't know because I only serve double faults, but 15-30. There's a bit of fault from Coco. Second serve. Second serve. Into the forehand of Pegula. Return goes to the forehand of Gauff. And Gauff puts it wide. 15-40. Pegula to break back. 1540. By the way, Chad, I want to read out. What Coco said about the WTA versus the ATP. As we're back end off the tape from Gauff. Pegula comes to the net. Gauff with the lob. Pegula with the smash. Oh, it goes long. 30-40. Gauff survives. All right. Now as Gauff serves a fault, second serve. As the return goes in the backhand of Gauff, 4-0 from Pegula on the stretch in the net, and it's deuce. So, and chat, this might sound familiar because I said something similar like a week ago. I've been saying this all year. So Coco said this about in the pre-tournament interview, why the WTA is more interesting than the ATP currently. And she said it's great to have 4 different champions this year, Grand Slam champions. All the girls have had a competitive year across the board, and I think it makes the sport more interesting than there are multiple chances for something else to happen. Although Carlos and Jannik are doing great, there's talks of needing a third person to make it more interesting. I think it's better to have a different champion than just the same two. As Gauff holds. And I am 1,000,000% agreeing with that. In fact, I said something like that. I've said that multiple times this year. Since Wimbledon, I've said that like at least 3 times. How the WTA is better than the ATP this year because of the variety, because of the multiple champions, because of different players. Anyone from 1 to 10 can beat anyone from 1 to 10. On the men's side, you've got 2 guys, which is really, really fun when they play, but when they don't play, it's not as competitive. I mean, look at Sinner this week. He won every set this week. He didn't look like he was in trouble at all this week. He won every match. He wasn't even down a break, I don't think, this week, Sinner. Like, he was just untouchable this week. And unless Alcaraz was in the final, Paris was a walk. It was a walk for Sinner, right? It was an easy walk. So I totally agree with Coco. And it's why, every time we watch the WTA, we're just, like, these players play, we're like, what could happen? Anything could happen. Anyone can beat anybody. Nobody's safe. I think she went on as well to say, like, on the women's side of things, in Grand Slams in particular, quarterfinals are interesting because you don't know who's going to beat who. The quarterfinals could be between, Sabalenka and Raducanu, and you don't know who can win that one. It could be a 50-50, right? Whereas on the men's side, if you get Sinner taking on, De Minaur, you know the result, or even Alcaraz versus Musetti or something. It could be interesting, but more times than not, it's Alcaraz or Sinner winning, right? So Coco hit it out of the park with that question. That was spot on. Sinkeraz is great, but the WTA as a whole is much better. Much more interesting. As the return goes out by Coco, it's 40-15. Like we know already who will be in the ATP Finals, but in WTA, no idea. Exactly. We don't even know who's going to win this thing. We're trying to figure... Even after this match, I still don't know who's going to win the WTA Finals because Anisimova was a lot of people's picks, and then obviously Sabalenka and Swiatek have done great, but just when you think you know, something happens. On the men's side, we're like, all right, Sinner or Alcaraz, they're winning Turin. One of them will make the final, one of them will win. Like, we already know that what's going to happen, right? WTA, I got no idea. For the first time, I can't even, like, I'm like, oh, like, that's why I'm like, maybe Pegula, right? Like, maybe it is Pegula's year. Maybe it could be Sabalenka. I know she's number 1, but she doesn't feel like the favorite. But I love it. It's so much better. Because on the ATP Finals, we're going to have some matches that are just going to be very predictable. And we're going to go into those matches being like, well, this is what's going to happen, and it happens. You know? Even the last match, even though it was very one-sided by Sabalenka, I did have that feeling like, I'm not going to be surprised if Paolini wins. Now, obviously, she didn't win. She got smashed. But I don't know. You just feel like every match, going into every one of these matches, even the Keys match yesterday with Swiatek, we're like, well, if she can play, this could be an upset. But obviously, it wasn't. But it's still, like, I don't get that feeling on the men's side as much. Like, even today's final with FAA, you're going, God, I hope he makes it close. Like, I hope it's competitive. We're not thinking, oh yeah, FAA's got a chance. No, unless something happens to Sinner, right? I don't get that. I mean, maybe you guys do. Maybe the Sinner fans in the chat were nervous about Sinner today, and maybe he might lose. But I was like, that's why I said close straight set Sinner, maybe a tiebreak. You know, like, because I mean, Chad, if I'm predicting it if I'm saying I reckon it's gonna be 2-set Sinner with a tiebreak, and I get it spot on, you know there's something wrong. You know it's predictable if I'm getting it right to the T. Like, if I'm getting the set scores right, then you know that something needs to change. Something's up. I need to be way off the mark with my prediction, so then you know how interesting. That means it's more interesting if I'm getting it totally wrong. It's more interesting for you guys to just talk shit. But if I'm predicting the set scores, then something's up. All right, love 15. Gauff hits it in the net. Respectfully disagree. Every one of those games, Jasmine and Sabalenka had multiple break points in games. This was way closer than the score. Oh, there were danger. I wasn't talking about like as Gauff hits a winner 15-0. Yeah, I wasn't talking about like that match. Yeah, okay. That match was closer than the score suggests. Yeah. But going into that match was my point. Going into that match, I think a lot of people would not have been surprised if Pegula had won, Paolini had won, right? I don't think anyone was expecting it to be. But even then, it's like we didn't expect Raducanu to smoke Anisimova. Maybe we didn't expect Sabalenka to win so easily. Maybe even on paper, on the scoreboard. In the games, you're right, it was closer. But yeah. Anyways, Gauff hits an ace, 40-15. FAA played amazing, but Sinner still won. That's the problem on the men's side. Players relying on Sinner to be sick or injured. Yeah, or playing bad. I mean, look at Alcaraz, right? He lost to Norrie because he played shocking. He played the worst tennis he's played all year. Norrie played very solid and made Alcaraz hit those errors because, again, we got to give a lot of credit to Norrie, but Alcaraz played his worst match of the year. And if that's how you're going to win matches against these guys, then you're not going to win matches against these guys. There's only been a few times this year, and I can probably name all those matches because we watched them all, where it felt like Sinner or Alcaraz would genuinely had someone match them. That wasn't each other, right? But there's been only a couple of times this year where it felt like, holy shit, so-and-so is playing to their level. And that was, and they weren't injured, right? And Alcaraz wasn't injured. Barcelona final, Rune played well, but Alcaraz was, hurt. But when Rune played Sinner in Australia, that was huge. When, I'm trying to think, who was the guy who played Sinner in Shapo? When Shapo played Sinner at the US Open, that felt like somebody who was matching that level, even though it was only temporarily, right? Even Alcaraz, right? He's had times when, I think it was like on the clay courts. I'm going to go back. Like feast on the clay. Even Musetti in Monte Carlo, that first set, it felt like Monte Carlo, Musetti was like, I can play like this guy. I can play this level. And then unfortunately got injured. But it has felt like, it's very few and far between that somebody, and it's so inconsistent. There's not one person that consistently does that. It's like, well, this guy does it this week, and then next week it might be somebody else, and then for a month it might be nobody, and then, and then after that it's like, oh, maybe somebody else does it. But it's, Menchik, we need Fonseca. Draper was the massive example, right? I think if you had to say big three, and you don't put Djokovic, you say Draper's the guy, but Draper didn't play Sinner, so we didn't get to see that. But Draper, yeah, he pushed Alcaraz on clay, he beat him in Indian Wells, so that's going to be fun going into next year, what Draper can do. Obviously, it's Zverev but the thing with Sinner and Zverev in I didn't feel like Zverev last week. Yeah, Zverev served really well. But it did feel like Sinner was not, especially at the end, we're like, oh, Sinner's not, he was doing, there was some cramps going on. And the first, the first two sets were very weird in that match. It didn't feel, again, Zverev's serving was amazing. And his consistency was great. He wasn't giving away any errors, but it didn't feel like he was Zverev was playing this unbelievable level that we're like, oh my God, Zverev is playing out of his mind. It was like, he was playing so solid, but he wasn't playing, like Shapo came out and was playing out of his mind in the US Open. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, Dimitrov at Wimbledon. Yeah, exactly. Dimitrov at Wimbledon. That's another good example. Yeah, for sure. Dimitrov at Wimbledon for those first two sets, it was like, whoa. And that wasn't Sinner. There was nothing going on with Sinner. Sinner wasn't playing. It wasn't sick. He wasn't injured. Dimi was just flying. Those kind of things have happened so little this time. Whereas on the women's side, there's a million examples. There's 100 examples you can pick with players playing to the level of the top 10 and beating them that are not in the top 10. Yeah, Bublik beating Sinner and Haller was another example. Yeah, that was a huge one where Bublik was playing out of his skin after the first set. Sinner didn't play bad. It was just Bublik was on fire, But again, we can name all the names because it rarely happens. It doesn't happen enough. Like this week, it didn't happen at all. Nobody matched Sinner's level. All right, Gauff hits a backhand long, and it's love 15. She's got the break, though, 4-3. Hopefully next year, a couple of these guys, whoever it is, a couple of players level up, over the off season and bring something to the table next year where they can consistently, trouble these guys, or at least give us something to look at, something to think about. All right, 15-all. There's a bit of fault second serve. As we return now from Pegula into the forehand of Gauff. Pegula backhand. Down the line into the forehand of Gauff. And Gauff will hit the baseline. Pegula gets it back. Gauff goes down the line to the backhand of Pegula. As Gauff forehand again. Into the forehand of Pegula. As Gauff backhand again on the stretch. Pegula forehand cross court. Gauff gets it. Pegula goes again to the backhand of Gauff. Hits a drop shot. Pegula gets over the slice and hits a winner. Great rally. 15-30. Great running by Pegula. Pegula's got such a solid game. She rarely plays a shit game where she just makes so many errors. She never does that. She's so solid from the baseline. She's kind of like Casper Ruud, right? The reliable baseline. He rarely plays bad. He'll get outplayed and he'll get out hit, but he never play. He rarely plays bad. He just has this. They just have this reliability with their shots. When you're watching them, you're not like, oh, are they gonna shank it out? Oh, are they gonna miss it? Or they usually always, unless they get overpowered, they usually make it. They don't make silly errors. Is it a forehand rally? She hits it out on that one, Pegula. Not my fault. All right, 40-30. Coco to keep the break. This is the best match we've had for the WTA Finals so far. Great serve from Gauff. 201 out wide. Woo! Okay. That's a great serve. 5-3 Coco. Huge serve. 201 out wide. That's got to be up there as one of the biggest serves ever. Hang on. 201? That's got to be up there. What's the fastest serves in history for the ladies? Let me check. Here we go. Fastest serve for the WTA. That was the 13th fastest serve all time. 201 kilometers an hour was the fastest. I'm going to say it's the fastest WTA final serve of all time because I'm looking at the list here and it says there are definitely faster serves, but then no serve has been faster at the WTA finals in the history. That might have been the fastest WTA final serve of all time. 201 out wide that was a huge serve. All right, 15 love. Is it a forehand from Gauff? Goes in the corner, too good. 15-0. So the fastest serve that has been recognized by the WTA was Laziki, 210 kilometers an hour in 2014. Coco's fastest serve all time is 206k or 128 miles in the 2022 US Open. So it's not her fastest serve ever, but geez, that was so fast. And if you take away the four, because it's four events or four serves that weren't recognized by the WTA, if you take them out, that was the 10th fastest serve ever. That should be recognized by the WTA. Because that was faster than the 13th fastest serve of all time, according to this list. That might be updated. I don't know. I'm going off the list. 201 is huge. And that could have been the fastest WTA final serve we've ever seen in history. What is the fastest? I don't know. The record doesn't go that far. It only goes to 13, but it only shows any players that hit over 200 Ks. And there's only 13 players in the history of the game that have hit 200 Ks. And Coco just did it again. All right. 30-0. Huge serve. As the return goes out by Gauff, and it's 40-30. Hopefully the WTA Finals acknowledge that was the fastest serve on record and show the replay millions of times. Please do that. WTA, can you clip that and just go, that was the fastest serve in history? And just tell the fans that because we need the confirmation. We need to know that we just witnessed some history there. Because that serve was a bullet. All right, return. Into the slice of Pegula. Pegula to wide. And it's deuce. Now we get the deuce. As Pegula serves again. As the return goes the forehand of Gauff, and Gauff hits it out. Advantage Pegula. Advantage Pegula. Yep, faster than Sabalenka and Raducanu. As the return goes in the backhand of Pegula, backhand from Gauff. Into the backhand of Pegula, who hits it wide as she attempts a down the line backhand. And we get the deuce. All right, deuce. As the return goes out by Gauff. Advantage Pegula. Advantage Pegula. Serving to the forehand of Gauff. Gauff in the net. Pegula holds. All right. Gauff is going to serve for the second set. Okay. Cool. Let's see if Gauff can take us to a third. Like I said, the winner of this will take on Sabalenka. The loser will take on Paolini in the second matches in a couple of days. And tomorrow, by the way, tomorrow we don't have any ATP to watch yet. We're going to watch Djokovic in Greece in a couple of days. We might watch Musetti or FAA try and qualify for Turin. I'm just trying to think if it's worth watching Felix or Musetti more. Because I don't want to watch both, because I don't want to do double headers with the ladies' matches. We're going to watch Djokovic already because we do, but I don't want to watch... I don't want to have to, we don't have to watch both of them. Musetti could lose one match and then it's all over anyway, so... And if Musetti doesn't... If he loses, FAA's ditching. He's leaving. He's like, I'm not going to Metz. I'm going to Turin. So tomorrow, neither of them play anyway because they got a bye in the first round. But we'll just see how it goes because it's obviously very important to watch to see who qualifies. But Djokovic is the focus in Greece. As Gauff is out wide, love 15. Serve again. There's a back in it from Pegula. Goes long. 15-all. Yeah, we might watch FAA because it'll be on FAA to have to win because he's going to have to defend, whereas Musetti has to chase FAA, but he also has to rely on Felix to lose. So it's probably better to watch Felix because Felix has to win 2 matches next week. He has to win his second round and the quarterfinals. If he makes the semis, it's done. So it's on Felix to win. So we might do like what we did with Raducanu. You know how we watched her to win, whereas Musetti, he's got to win the title he's got to win the title in Greece. So I'll tell you this is what we'll do. We might watch Felix depending on the times in his matches, and if he loses, then we might switch over to Musetti to see if he can win the tournament because. Unless he plays, he's playing Wawrinka second round possibly, so we might end up watching that anyway. Musetti-Wawrinka is a hell of a match. You know what I'm saying? So if Felix loses and it opens the door for Musetti, we'll go to Musetti and we'll see what he can do. But if Felix is the one who has all to lose, right? So we'll focus on Felix, and if he does lose, then we can switch over to Musetti to track his progress. That might be a better way to go about it. Again, we'll see how it goes, though, because it just depends on... I don't want to do double headers with the WTA and Djokovic matches. It might be a little messy, but we'll just see. If the schedule works out, we'll do it. Anyway, it's 15:40. Gauff in trouble. As we serve. Double fault. We're back on serve. 5-all. Okay. 5-5. Back on serve. All right. Okay, back to Pegula. She tries to take the lead in the second. Who is the next up-and-coming star? Victoria Mboko. Mboko is her. That is the answer. Love 15. She showed that this week. She showed that in Canada. She showed that this whole year. Like Mboko, I'm expecting Mboko next year. She like the way she's been playing and the way she played. If she's healthy, looking at top 10. Like she is so scary with that serve. Like that serve is like she is a complete player. There's just those injuries that she has to deal with, but she is a complete player. And she looks ready to take a next step. I mean, quarterfinal of a slam next year is what I'm thinking. Somewhere, don't know where, but somewhere next year, Mboko's making a quarterfinal of a slam. 15:30. Eala and her. Yeah, Eala has obviously Eala joint, right? Another one. Both of them are definitely on the list as well. But on Boko, I think if I had to pick one, on Boko looks ready. And the way she's played this year, how she's gone from playing at the start of the year, playing challenges, to slowly getting into the slams and then winning the big trophies. I think on Boko next year, is if she stays healthy, is going to be, she's going to take another step. She's already in top 20. She's already got some big wins. That's the difference between her and Joint. Is Joint doesn't have any top 10 wins, whereas Mboko has a few. So she has that confidence against that top 10 to trouble them. Whereas I don't know if Joint has that yet. She's played Swiatek. She's played, I think, maybe Gauff as well, but she didn't get a set off them. But yeah, so Mboko for me next year is going to be the one to watch. Like, that's the one that no one wants to play. Like, that's the player that no one wants to play. 4-4 rally. To the backhand into the forehand of Gauff, backhand of Pegula. 30-40. Gauff with a chance to break back and lead. As with the backhand out of the forehand of Gauff. Backhand again from Pegula. Into the forehand of Gauff. Gauff just keeps on hitting moon balls. As with the backhand of Coco across for a winner. All right, Gauff breaks. Just going to serve for the set again. 6-5 Coco. All right. All right. Yeah, I think the way that Mboko's finished the year and the way that she's looked, it feels like Zhang 2023. And it feels like Andreeva last year. Like, that's sort of where... but then again, it could turn out to be like Schneider last year, where she finished the year off really well. And I was really like, holy shit, she's scary. And then she hasn't done much this year, right? So it could go either way. But I feel like Mboko's given me that vibe of similar to Zhang at the end of 23, where she wasn't in the top 10 yet, but she was very competitive and very strong. And then, of course, made the final of the Australian Open in last year and won the gold medal. So... And then Andreeva last year, same thing, right? Everyone's going, next year she's going to break out and do some good things. Wins 1000s, has great, has some good run at slam. That's what Mboko feels like going into next year, even though she's already got the 1000, right? It feels like next year, Mboko, it feels like the momentum that she's gained towards the back half of the season, but also all year, starting off in the small tournaments and climbing the ladder. It feels like next year is going to be like... Next year, people are going to know who she is. Because we've seen her a little bit at the slams this year. But next year, it feels like, okay, she's going to have a run at a slam, and then the world's going to know who she is. Like Andreeva, right? Or like, Zhang a couple of years ago. That's what it feels like. It could be that kind of a season for her. At least that's what I'm hoping for her next year. Like, she'll be the one to push towards the top 10, get in the top 10 and, make a slam run. I think that's definitely the next step for her to try and, get to a quarterfinal of a slam or semi, All right, that goes in the net break off, love 15. Yeah, Mboko's serve is just ridiculous. Her serve has been crazy. But then, yeah, her backhand and forehand are great. She can come to the net. Yeah, she doesn't have too many weaknesses, yeah. But the serve is huge. Like, the serve is such a weapon. And if you serve 19 aces in a match on the WTA, you got somebody... That doesn't happen. I mean, I don't know many players that do that hit double-digit aces, yes, but not nearly 20 aces in a match. That never happens on the WTA. Not consistently. All right, 15-0. As we serve into the backhand of Pegula, backhand from Gauff into the forehand of Pegula. There's Gauff forehand in the net, 15-30. Coco just can't get the serve to work at the right time. All right. As the return goes back into Gauff. Pegula pass. Gauff with the volley. Oh, Pegula gets it back. But it goes wide. 30-all. Coco, good attack at the net. 30-all. 2 points away from taking us to a third. All right, first serve is a fault. Second serve. Into the forehand of Pegula. Return goes to the forehand of Gauff. Pegula forehand again. The forehand of Gauff as Pegula with the backhand down the line in the net. Set point Coco, 40-30. To take us to a third. $40-30. As Gauff serves a fault. 201. Was that 207? That was 201. Double fault. Deuce. Another 201 serve out wide for Coco. What the hell? She is serving massive in the second set. All right, deuce. A fault from Coco, second serve. Ooh, that was an off-balance, shocking second serve. She was just totally off-balance, Coco, on that one. Didn't get... She was chasing the ball toss. It wasn't even nowhere near where she needed it to go. All right. Advantage Pegula to take us to a tiebreak. Another fault from Gauff. She tried to kick that one. Second serve. Double fault. All right, tiebreak. Yeah, she's trying to kick serve it to try and get it in, but it is not. I mean, she wrote that last game, that last couple, like especially that last double fault, that was rushed. Like she was just kind of like whatever. Like she didn't seem like after the second double fault, she looked like she had enough serving. She was done with serving. It's all right. I'm finished with serving. It's fine. All right. Who's winning the tiebreak, chat? As we return now to the backhand of Pegula. Backhand from Gauff. Into the net. 1-0 Pegula. 1-0. Coco 7-5. Okay. Yeah, when she hit that serve, like that second double fault, you knew the third one was, if she didn't make the first serve, she's going to double fault again. That's a good serve by Coco. There you go, 1-0. 1-1. And then a serve out wide, return the net. There you go, 2 great serves by Gauff. 2-1. Unreturnables. 2-1 to Coco. I missed the tiebreak game intro. Yeah, well, I miss my wife, but she's just gone out to get milk, so don't worry, she'll be back. 2-1. As the backhand return goes in the backhand of Pegula. Pegula hits it long. It's 3-1 Coco. All right. 3-1 to Coco. With the mini break. All right. 3-1. As Pegula serves. Into the backhand of Gauff. 4-1 from Pegula. As Gauff with a passing shot. Pegula with a volley. Too good. Great volley. 3-2 Gauff. 3-2 Coco. All right. Let on the first serve. There's a return. Nope. The fault is a serve is a fault. Second serve. Serve in the back of Pegula. Good return. Gauff slice in the net. Pegula too strong. 3-3. They change hands. 3-all. Okay. Coco still got a serve to come. 3-all. Is Melbourne running out of milk, or why is it taking so long? I don't know. I'm asking the same thing. I'm like, yeah, what is taking so long? I don't know. It must be some it must be some really good milk. 4-3. 4-3. Coco leads. As we just serve in the front of Gauff. Return goes back into Pegula. Gauff with a slice. As Pegula falling cross court. Gauff's got it. But hits it long. 4-all. 4-4. Maybe the cows are dry. No, I think my wife went on a quest. You know, like Frodo Baggins in The Hobbit. On the quest for the golden cow. I think that's what she did. So she's trekking through the mountains to look for the magical cow to get the best milk. That's what she's doing. She's just lost. All right, 5-4. That goes out by Pegula. And Gauff is going to serve for this second set. As Gauff serves into the forehand of Pegula. Pegula hits it out. 6-4 Coco. Set points for Coco Gauff to take the second set and take us to a third. Serve. There's a fault. Second serve. Serve at the back of Pegula. Return goes wide. We're going 3. Coco takes the set. We are going to a third. Okay. Gauff takes the second. All right. We're going 3, baby. For the first time in the WTA Finals, we're going 3. Finally a good match. Yeah, it's a close match. A lot of errors, though. 8 winners and 15 errors from Pegula. 12 winners and 20 errors from Gauff. 7 double faults in that set. But she did hit 5 aces. So at least it's only a -2. So even though she hit 7 double faults, if you're hitting aces and you're cancelling out the double faults, then, you know, that's at least something. All right. Pegula is a queen of 3 setters. All right, let's see. Let's see. I think Gauff serving first as well in the third. All right. I think Pegula will win it in the end. Okay. Gauff wins a lot of 3 setters too, though. Yeah, let me find the stats because that's my job. You know, just sit here to listen to me talk about my wife who has disappeared looking for milk. Or maybe you do. I don't know. But Coco this year, she has won 12 matches in the third set. She's only lost 2. That's pretty impressive. 12 wins, 2 losses when it goes to a third in all competitions in 2025. And Pegula, she has a record of 17-11. So I don't know who the hell said that Pegula had a better record, because it's not true. 17-11. However, she has won her last 4. And won her last 8 of her last 9 has Pegula. Coco, though, she's only lost 2 for the year. 3 setters. That's crazy. One was Paolini in Cincinnati, and one was against Bencic in Indian Wells. 12-2. I mean, Coco should win this match now, based on that. By the way, Daria, thank you for the 36 months. Appreciate it. Just a hunch, but Americans taking this. $30 love. Yeah, that's a crazy record. Hopefully she knows that. I mean, she probably would know that. All right, return goes in the forehand of Gauff, and then Pegula backhand cross court. Gauff gets there with a slice. Pegula forehand winner, though, too strong. 30-15. 30-15. As Gauff serves again. Fault. Second serve. You're welcome, Cam. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for sticking around for 3 years. 3 whole years. That's a long time. Backhand rally as Gauff goes in the net. And it's 30-0. Have you ever seen the Long Walk movie? No. What is that about? Is it a horror movie? All right, first serve is a fault, second serve. With a backhand slice. From Gauff into the forehand now, Pegula. Gauff forehand. Going to the forehand of Pegula is Gauff with a slice forehand down the line. Pegula gets it back. Gauff with the lob. Too short. Pegula with the backhand winner. 30-40. 30-40. Pegula to get the break. First game of the second. All right, first serve, the fault, second serve. Movie based on Stephen King novel. Oh, really? That sounds fun. As it a forehand on the stretch to the backhand of Pegula. Forehand now from Gauff into the volley of Pegula. Pegula hits it wide. We get to deuce. All right, deuce. Serve again. As the return goes back into Coco. Pegula with the pass. Gauff with a volley, and then Pegula with a lob. Ooh, just went long. Advantage Gauff. Came out last month. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to get through all the movies that have been recommended, right? Like if I go through the list of best horror, like the best horror movies of all time, I'm trying to get through that list of like I've watched It Chapter 1 and 2. I've seen the Saw franchise, Hellraiser, Drag Me to Hell. I've watched that. I haven't watched Audition. Apparently that's good. Talk to Me is on my list. I've got to watch that this week. A Quiet Place. Nosferatu is on my list as well. Also, I think the Frankenstein movie came out, didn't it? Didn't Frankenstein come out this week? I'll have to go watch that. I have to watch Poltergeist again because I don't remember. I know what happens, but I need to watch it again. I've watched The Fog. I've watched Hereditary. I've watched It Follows. Midsummer. I have to watch Midsummer. What else we got? The Witch. I also have to watch The Witch. And 28 Days Later. Seen the Ring. Blair Witch Project. Dawn of the Dead. I think I've got that. I have to watch Carrie as well. I have heard that's good. The Wicker Man. I haven't seen that. The Evil Dead 2. I haven't seen that. So yeah, I've got a lot of like ones that I need to just watch, like the classics as well. Good lob by Pegula. Gauff gets it back, but it's in the net, and we get the deuce. We get to deuce. I have to watch Sinners. I haven't seen that. I've got Pan's Labyrinth. I have watched that, but I've got to watch that again. The Host, I've got to watch that as well. Also Parasite, I have to see that. I've got that on... That's on Netflix. Oh, The Babadook as well. I haven't seen that. And I've heard that's super creepy. Anyways, deuce. Backhand down the line. Into the forehand of Gauff. Slice from Pegula. Into the forehand of Gauff. It's Pegula with a forehand down the line. It's a great shot. Gauff gets it back with a backhand. Pegula drop shot. Gauff's got it. She comes to the net. Passing shot is too good by Pegula. Hit the tape. But she hit a winner. Advantage Pegula. Great rally. Advantage Pegula. Advantage Pegula. Also got to find Candyman. I remember seeing that at like the video store every time, like in the horror section. Did anyone else do that when they went to like as Gauff double fails, it's a break. Whoops. There we go. One love. Did anyone else do that when they went to the video store when it used to be a thing? You go to the horror section, you just see all the front covers, and you're like, ooh. I used to always go. Never used to get anything because I was like, a kid. Also, I need to see Arachnophobia because I hate spiders, and I feel like that would be really scary. Candyman's goated, yeah. Sinners and Weapons. Well, I've seen Weapons. I saw Weapons at the cinema, but yeah, Sinners I didn't get to see. Army of Darkness. I've seen Army of Darkness. Parasite's kind of a comedy. Yeah, I've heard that it's not... Yeah, I've heard that... Is it gory or... But either way, I've got to watch Parasite. Even if it's not like a horror movie. As that goes the net by Gauff. 15 love. I must say this about you. You're very dedicated to what you do. I've watched you the whole year and you are on point. Don't miss too many matches. Man, that is great. You keep working hard. Yep, I'm a psycho. I have a problem. But it's all right. It could be worse. But thank you for the nice words. All right. 15 love. It's more of a... Parasite's more of a thriller? Okay. Where's the Christmas tree? It's right here. As with a forehand from Pegula. Into the backhand of Gauff. Pegula backhand slice. Into the forehand of Gauff. It's Pegula backhand again. Gauff comes to the net with a volley. Pegula pass is a lob. Gauff with a volley. Down the line. Great shot. Pegula gets it with another lob. But it goes long. 15-0. It's right here. I don't know where to put it, though, because I don't want to put it next to the window. It's in here. And I don't want to put it there because then I don't know where to put Mia. So unless I move Mia over here, and then I'll put the tree where she is. I can put the tree here. But if I put the tree here, then it's right next to the window. 15 all. So I just got to figure out where to put the tree. There's a forehand from Pegula on the stretch. Gauff with the forehand down the line. Pegula passing shot in the net, and it's 15-30. Hostel 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've got Hostel 1 and 3. I think I've got Hostel 1 and 2. But I've seen those as well. They're good. Nice and creepy. All right, 15-30. Is it a backhand Pegula into the forehand of Gauff? Pegula forehand goes long, and it's 15-40. To get back the break. As with a forehand into the backhand of Gauff. Forehand of Pegula to the forehand of Gauff. It's Pegula again to the forehand of Gauff. Into the forehand of Pegula is Gauff forehand again. Off the tape is a winner. We're back on serve. 1-all. 1-1. Okay. Coco breaks back with a little bit of luck. She gets back the break. All right. Can we get through Thanksgiving first? I don't have Thanksgiving. That's not a thing. All right. Go for the fault second serve. Hostel is not for the faint of heart. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. All right, double fault Coco, and it's love 15. As we default second serve. Love 30. Love 30. Chance for Pegula to break again. There's a return. Goes in the back into Gauff. Back into Pegula in the nets. 15. 30. $15.30. Oh, wow. So apparently the Mirra Andreeva did not play Tokyo, not because of a visa issue, but because it was a decision by a team. That is crazy. 30-all. That is crazy. And she said, I'm not going to make that mistake again. Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. 40-30. All right. Gauff to get back in front. There's a backhand now from Coco into the forehand of Pegula. Gauff with the forehand to the backhand of Pegula, to the backhand of Gauff. As Pegula backhand down the line. Gauff gets with the forehand cross court. Pegula gets it again to the forehand of Gauff. Into the backhand of Pegula is Gauff. Forehand to the forehand of Pegula. Again, the forehand of Gauff. Into the Pegula backhand. Gauff backhand down the line. Pegula gets with the forehand cross court. Gauff hits it long and we get the deuce. All right, deuce. As the return goes back into Gauff. Oh, a Gauff ran into the ball. Or did that have some weird like shank spin on it? Because Coco misread that completely. Pegula said sorry. I don't know if Pegula did, like it maybe had a bit like a bad bounce. It had a lot more topspin, I think, than Gauff was expecting. She kind of like went under the ball and the ball bounced over her head. I think that was, I think Pegula maybe shanked it with a little bit too much topspin and Gauff didn't read it. Anyways, Gauff comes down with a smash, puts that away. Back to deuce. Popper in the quarters match is about to start. Nice. Maddie backed out. What was crazy? What are you talking about? Keys is still playing. She's still playing. Keys hasn't withdrawn. Backhand goes in the middle of the slice of Pegula. That was just somebody saying that as like a guess. They're just saying, I think this will happen. It hasn't happened. It's like saying, I think, the Rockies are going to make the playoffs. Hey, great passing shot by Pegula. Wow. I mean, look, Gauff had a half a chance to hit the volley, but that was just a rocket passing shot by Pegula. It's too good. Gauff could have hit the volley. Like she could have got the racket on it, but that was just too good. All right. Advantage Pegula. As Gauff serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Serving to the forehand of Pegula. Pegula in the net. And Gauff hangs on. Deuce. Back to deuce. As the return goes in the net by Pegula, and it's advantage Gauff. Advantage Gauff. Return goes to the forehand of Gauff. Pegula backhand. Into the forehand of Gauff, who puts up a lob. Pegula with a smash. Gauff with a slice. Pegula with a backhand. Gauff with a pass. In the net. We get back to deuce. Back to deuce. Serve again. And the return goes in the net by Pegula, and it's advantage Coco. Advantage Gauff. As the return goes in the slice of Gauff, slice Pegula. Into the forehand of Gauff as Pegula backhand in the net. All right, Gauff holds. That was a marathon. And it's 2-1 Coco in the second. She leads. Sorry, in the third. She leads. Okay. Cool. Now, Sarath, she didn't have match points, Pegula. She didn't have match points. Gauff was serving to the set twice, and then it was a tiebreak, and she didn't have match points. So don't worry, Pegula has not wasted her chance. She didn't have any match points yet. So tomorrow you've got Swiatek Rybakina followed by the Keys Anisimova match. So that's going to be fun. Must-win match for Anisimova if she's going to keep her chances alive. And, of course, Swiatek and Rybakina, a winner of that probably makes it through the group. So that is what is at stake. I just know Swiatek Rybakina is going to be crazy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Anisimova should beat Keys, but it just depends. I mean, Keys might feel a little better after that first match and at least a little less rusty. Her serve, I don't think she'll have any miraculous recovery on serve, but Anisimova, Anisimova could be nervous. We saw that yesterday. Maybe Anisimova comes into that match knowing she has to win, and that might be the problem. It would be kind of awesome to see like Swiatek versus Anisimova, winner goes through, loser goes home. That would be insane. So that would mean Rybakina beats Swiatek, Anisimova beats Keys, and then Swiatek versus Anisimova is basically a quarterfinal, like a knockout match. That would be kind of awesome. Especially because they play twice and it's 1-1. Like the trilogy is, like the stakes are high. All right. 15 all. But Coco's only lost 2 matches in deciding sets this year. She is 12-2 in 3 setters this year, Gauff, which is incredibly consistent. As that goes out by Coco, and it's 30-15. And the return goes to the back end of Pegula. Forehand from Gauff. Into the forehand of Pegula sliced. And that goes long by Pegula. 30-all. I'll tell you this, chat. If Coco wins this match, despite double faulting, I mean, who cares? Like about the double faults, who cares? Well, if she wins, it doesn't matter. It just means she had to work harder than she might have if she didn't double fault. But if she wins with the double faults, who cares? It only matters when she loses, when she double faults that much, because it costs her matches. If she wins, it just means that she would have won in straight sets instead of 3. You know what I mean? Potentially. It could have been a lot easier had she not double faulted. But if she wins, stop jinxing it. Shut up. All right, back here. Get out of here, Harry. All right, winner from Pegula, and it's deuce. Coming in, jinxing. We're using the word jinx. What are you talking about? Halloween's over, buddy. All right, deuce. All right, serve. The forehand of Gauff. Pegula forehand to the back of the Gauff. Gauff hits it long. Advantage Pegula. Advantage Pegula. As the return goes to Fauna Pegula from Gauff into the Fauna Pegula. Pegula hits a winner, and we get to 2-0. Final set. Oh, you've got money on this? Well, then go watch the match. Don't need you coming in here blaming me for things. You're already starting to make excuses for the loss. Be the guy on the TV, he said something and it was a jinx. That's why I lost all my money. No. You lost your money because you made a decision to risk it. That's on you. That's on you. I'm not taking that. Not taking that. Anyways, backhand volley from Gauff. Pegula hits a passing shot. And it's love 15. Love 15. As Gauff serves again to the body of Pegula. Great body serve. Pegula hit it wide, and it's 15-0. How many times has Gauff come from a set down this year? That's a great question that nobody asked. 7 times she's come back and lost 12. 7 wins, 12 losses from a set down this year. And Pegula, when she wins the first set, is 40-7 win-loss. Her last loss from a set-up was against Sabalenka at the US Open. Double fault Coco, 15-30. So, yeah, 7 wins and 12 losses for Coco when she's lost the first set. She has lost 3 of her last 4 when she has lost the first set, Gauff. But she serves an ace down the tee and it's 30-0. But yeah, Pegula's only lost 7 times this year from a setup, and that was against Alexandra Eala in Doha, Svitolina at Indian Wells, Kalinskaya in Strasbourg, Boiseau at Roland Garros, Sampson over in Berlin, Sevastova in Montreal, and Sabalenka in New York. So there you go. There's Coco in the net, 30-40. 30-40. And Gauff serves a fault to conserve. And as the return goes to the front of Gauff. Pegula forehand again, the front of Gauff. It's Pegula forehand again to the front of Gauff. Pegula forehand down the line. Goes long. We get the deuce. Thanks for the stats. No worries. I'm trying to understand the ups and downs of Coco's serve. Is Gavin helping at all? So here's the thing, right? So Gavin came on during the season, right? And I think he also came on to he came onto the team of Sabalenka during the season back in 22. But it wasn't until 2023 that we saw improvement, right? So I think we've just got to give that partnership the off season to get it right, because he's not going to come on and then Coco's just going to completely... everything's going to work, right? I think they need time, not in matches, right? Not during matches. They need time off court to work on things, and they'll have that in the off season. And then coming into next year, I think once we get to sort of like Indian Wells, Miami, that's when I think we need to start. If nothing's changed, that's when we've got to start asking what's going on. I think that's, that would be... it's still too early. I mean, again, got to give him an off-season as we get a lovely passing shot by Pegula. All right, 3-2. So, he has been helping, but it's very hard to help mid-season. To change someone's serve, midway through a year, it's not going to be instant. But once they have, they'll have 8 weeks off or whatever, I think and it's not going to be like first week of the year, Gauff's going to be like not double folding. That'd be like great ideally, right? But probably not. But if we give it until maybe the end of February, if Coco's still double faulting 15, 20 times, we've got to go, what the hell is happening? Like, why is this happening? You know, then there's not really many excuses. It's like, well, yeah, things take time, but it's like, you know, 6 months by then, I think they've been working together, and you go, well, how long is this going to take? So I think we should probably give them some more time, especially the off season. I think they can't do much during the season. You can't change her serve for the positive, like between matches, you know, like when she's already trying to like win titles and when there's all the pressure of that stuff gone, they can work on stuff better, you know, break it down, rebuild it. All right. Pegula breaks 3-2 in the third. All right. 3-2 Pegula. Can we go do predictions for tomorrow's matches? Yeah, I've just been like streaming, so I haven't had time. As the return goes back into Pegula, 4 now from Gauff. There's a winner. Love 15. Cam, would you say sport is the best reality TV? Yeah, I love it. Like sports, I love sports. I love watching sport. Clearly. All right, turn the back into Pegula, 4 from Gauff. And Gauff hits it out. $15. As Pegula serves an ace, and it's 30-15. Serve again. Into the forehand of Gauff. Pegula forehand to the back, and a Gauff sliced. Pegula with the pass. Gauff with a drop volley in the net. That would have been incredible. 40-15. $40-15. As the return goes in from Gauff to the forehand of Pegula. Gauff down the middle to the backhand of Pegula as Gauff forehand again. Into the forehand of Pegula as Gauff goes again. Forehand cross court. Pegula slice. Gauff comes in. Puts it away. 40-30. 40-30. As Pegula serves again. A fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the backhand of Gauff. Pegula backhand into the forehand of Gauff. It's Pegula forehand again, the forehand of Gauff. And Gauff hits it out. Pegula 4-2 in the final set. All right. 4-2. Don't forget to subscribe, by the way, if you haven't already. We're watching every single singles match in the WTA Finals. We're watching every singles match in the ATP Finals. And then we've also got Davis Cup after that. So if you like tennis, men's and women's, or if you like a particular player, we probably watch most of the time. I mean, if you like any of the top players, like top 8 players, we're definitely going to be watching them over the next couple of weeks. We've got Djokovic coming up this week as well. So yeah. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Also, there's plenty of news. Rankings are very important right now. A lot of changes happening in the rankings. We've got a lot of match previews coming out as well because there's so many matches coming up. As Coco 15 Love says, a fault second serve. Double fault to Gauff. 15-0. Serve is a fault second serve. Coco won't make the semis if she loses. I agree. Serve. Here's the forehand Pegula. Forehand from Gauff into the backhand of Pegula is Gauff. Forehand cross court. Pegula gets it back. Gauff forehand down the line. Pegula backhand again. The backhand of Gauff. It's a drop shot in the net. 15-30. Because, yeah, I think if Pegula wins this, Pegula probably... Well, Pegula's got to play Sabalenka next and then Paolini if she wins this. And Gauff is there's no guarantee of beating Paolini. Ace out wide. Pegula probably loses to Sabalenka. You know what? I could see it like this, though. I could see Gauff getting through. If Pegula wins this, Sabalenka beats Pegula and Gauff beats Paolini, Sabalenka won't have to beat Gauff to qualify, so she might not be... You know how, like, sometimes the final match, some players that don't have to win, sometimes they just kind of, like, they kind of take the match off, kind of, you know what I'm saying? They don't tank, but they just kind of, like, they're not bothered. So that's what's in Coco's favor if she does lose this match, is if the final match is against Sabalenka, and Sabalenka doesn't need to win that match to qualify, maybe there's an opportunity, but Coco has to beat Paolini for that to be a possibility. And then we might get 3 players 2-1, and it will come down to a countback. And this match is a good match for Gauff in a countback if she loses, because she's got a set, it's close, you know. So that could be possible. So I don't think Gauff's out of it yet if she loses this. She probably just needs... She probably needs Sabalenka to beat Pegula pretty easily. 2-2 or something like that. So then the countback is in her favor. She needs to beat Paolini, obviously. And then Paolini, Pegula. And Paolini did win their last match. So, but Paolini also playing a dead match because she'll want to win, right? Paolini will want to win a match here, not go 0-3. So if that happens, right? And then, but yeah, again, Sabalenka with 2-0, she might be like, I'm in the semis. I don't need to win this match. And sometimes those players, I think we saw it with Coco last year. She was up 2-0. She lost to Krejcikova. Didn't need to win, and she lost. We've seen it many times in the ATP Finals too. So that could be interesting if especially if Sabalenka beats Pegula pretty easily in the next match, and Gauff beats Paolini. Gauff could still qualify, but Pegula is served for the match after this, 5-2. So yeah, so I wouldn't count Coco out yet, but she has to beat Paolini and then hope that Sabalenka probably destroys Pegula and then maybe doesn't care so much about the final match. Gauff is disgusting. Bro, you need to relax. You need to calm down. That is you're using a big word and it doesn't even make any sense. You need to relax. Sabalenka will want revenge against Gauff after French Open. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that is there. But again, there's an opportunity, I think, to play. If you play Sabalenka, who's up 2-0 and doesn't need a win, don't tell him to calm down. You need to sit with him and calm down too. Both of you, sit down, calm down. Don't tell him to calm down. What are you, his wife? Relax. Pegula could beat Sabalenka too and top the group. Well, that's a possibility too. And then it comes down to Gauff versus Sabalenka. Winner goes through, loser goes home. Yeah, you talk too much. I wonder why. Do you want me to sit here and just look pretty? What do you want from me? There's a word talk in the name. It's called tennis talk. It's not called tennis silence. All right. You talk too much. You're here. Why are you here? You chose to be here. That's weird. All right. Pegula serving for the match. 5-2. As Pegula serves. And the return from Gauff goes wide. 15-love. Negative people need to leave this channel. I agree. Please, if you're going to be negative, just keep it to yourself. As Pegula serves an ace. 30-love. 2 points away from a big win. This is a huge win. Remember, Pegula last year was injured and went 0-2. The year before she made the final. So, and beating Coco in the first match is huge. Especially because Gauff won their last match. Remember was it Wuhan final? Straight sets. So this is a great fight for Pegula to get that result back. As that goes into the backhand of Pegula, backhand from Gauff goes long. 40-love. Pegula to get the win. 40-love. 40-love. Serve is a fault. Second serve. Serve into the backhand of Gauff. Backhand of Pegula on the stretch. Goes long. 40-15. All right, Pegula, match point number 2. Serve is a fault. Second serve. As Pegula serves again. Into the backhand of Gauff. Return goes long. There it is. Pegula wins. Solid win by Pegula. And I think the third player this year to beat Gauff in a final set. That's kind of crazy. All right. Pegula takes the win, and she is going to play Sabalenka in a couple of days. Gauff will play Paolini in a must-win match if she's going to defend this title. But great win by Pegula. Again, somebody who we just do not talk enough about when we're talking about who can win titles. We do not mention her enough, and it's a criminal offense. It's terrible. It's so... We need to stop doing that. We need to mention... When we're talking about who can win the tournament, Pegula needs to come up in the conversations because she could win this whole thing. She can beat a lot of the players in this draw. In fact, all of them. She can beat all of them. So why the hell couldn't she win this thing? All right. Solid as a rock. Exactly. Even after the second set where Gauff, took the tiebreak, Pegula stayed strong. And fought back in the final set to clutch it. Or to grab it. So now she's going to play Sabalenka, who she just beat in one of the craziest matches of the last couple of months. That was a crazy match. And when Sabalenka and Pegula play, it's always good. Like the last 2 matches they played, at least, have been very competitive and very high quality. That US Open match, highest quality match of the year on the WTA for me. So we get to see it again. And the winner puts themselves at the top of the group. So it's a very important match as well. Yeah, Pegula-Sabalenka matches are very good. It's a great contrast of styles, with Pegula, being the solid baseliner and Sabalenka trying to hit the big winners. It's great fun contrast. All right. I think Sabalenka will win the title. People have seemed to have forgotten about her as well. I know, right? I said that earlier when we were watching Sabalenka before. I was like, we haven't really said Sabalenka's going to win. Like nobody's been picking Sabalenka to win the title either. So it's which is weird because she's number 1. But I think a lot of us are like, Swiatek and Nissimova, Raducanu, but Coco back to back. Nobody's saying Pegula or Sabalenka that much. No one's saying Pegula, and Sabalenka's been sort of overlooked as well a little bit, which is weird because she's the best player on the planet by a mile. All right. This is a round-robin tournament. Serena once lost to Halep and still won it all. Yeah, you can still win it all if you lose one match. Yeah. You don't have to go undefeated to win the title. You can come back from losing a match. It just makes it very hard when it's the first match. Because now she's got to... Gauff has to fight back and win the next 2 matches if she's going to qualify. How many points for winning the tournament? Winning a match? 200, yeah. 200 a match. So Pegula won 200 points for that. By the way, Tabilo and Walton, winner plays Djokovic in Athens. They're playing a crazy match. What the 7-6, 6-7. And 1-all in the third. I love Pegula. No noises, no relying on her coaches, and she has a high IQ. I agree. She is very no nonsense, for sure. Are we going to get a Sabalenka Swiatek semi-final or final? Probably I don't know. Maybe a semi-final. Someone can win only 1 match in the round robin stage and still win the tournament too. Yeah, well, that's very rare, but it can happen, yeah. That could happen too. How does that happen? If everybody wins, so if Sabalenka wins 3-0 and everybody wins 1-2 and then it goes down to countback. Yeah. That's true. Somebody could win 1 match and still win the whole thing, which is super weird. Radvanska did that. Okay. 2015, fair enough. She can beat all these players, but she hasn't got the consistency to beat them back-to-back. See, that is a good point. Like, Pegula can beat these players in a one-off. We saw that, she beat Sabalenka in Wuhan. She lost to Gauff. You're right. Going back-to-back is definitely the hard part for her. She can get a good win, for sure. Beating someone, Swiatek at a slam and then, whatever. But then she won't win 4 matches against the top 10, which is what she has to do this week, right? So that is a good point. She does struggle to play them back-to-back. But she can get one-off wins. Now, if she does lose to Sabalenka and then plays Paolini, but she did make the final here back in I think she didn't lose a match until the final, right? In 2023. But, again, couldn't finish it off against Swiatek. But still, I don't know why we just never mentioned Pegula enough. We need to talk more about Pegula. She's definitely the most underrated player in the top 10. Or the most underestimated player in the top 10. She's never picked. We never pick her as a contender until she makes a final and we're like, oh, she could win. All right. Anyways, I'm leaving. But thank you for sticking around. It's been a big day. Tomorrow, WTA Finals Day 3. We've got Swiatek Raducanu, blockbuster. And then, of course, we've got Anisimova versus Keys, which is a must-win for both in that match. So, yeah. Could be really interesting to see what happens tomorrow. The WTA Finals really shape up tomorrow. But Pegula wins 6-3, 6-3, 6-7, 6-2. And, of course, Sabalenka won earlier today. And Sinner won in Paris. So that is the wrap-up. But I'll see you tomorrow for WTA Finals Day number 3. And stick around for the ranking show. That's coming up later. That'll be coming up later this afternoon, and we will be able to find out what the rankings look like as we get to Turin. But there it is. Pegula wins, beats Gauff.